Hello, my name is Noah Elkreef, and today I want to share with you about my journey to discover my soul. So, I haven't planned anything that I'm going to share here today, so I hope it's in somewhat of a straight line. I feel a little nervous sharing. I haven't shared much about the soul before, and I notice hesitation and resistance and blockages of speaking the truth of what my experience is. I noticed I was about to say something, and then I blocked myself from saying it. So I'm just going to start with saying what I just blocked myself from saying. And that is, I have some residue fear of speaking about my soul because of past lives when I was tortured, killed, burned, and exiled because I spoke my experience, because I spoke what I saw, I spoke what I felt, I spoke, from my wisdom. And there's still residue in there. I've seen these lives. I've re-experienced these lives. I've done some healing on these lives, which is why I'm able to speak in front of you today and not just hide in my room and never share my experience with anyone. But there's often residue, meaning there's remnant fear. There's still this like, oh no, if I speak this, I will be killed. I will be outcasted. And more recently, I noticed in the last few weeks a fear coming up that my tribe will abandon me, in the sense that my tribe in some way in this life has been smart people who are really analytically, mentally intelligent, and these people were my tribe when I was in business, and these people were still my tribe in some way, even as I've been sharing these last 11 years about my work. I've shared it oftentimes through the filter or through the lens of logic. So what I share, most of you can follow, or many of you can follow from your head. And as I shifted towards talking about emotion, the people who don't have access to their emotion already sort of rejected my work and didn't want anything to do with me. But now I'm taking another leap into the realm of the soul, into the realm of the spiritual, which cannot be verified by logic, cannot be verified by intellect. And therefore that means the people who only have access to intellect and logic are not going to like what I share, are not going to want to have anything to do with me. And that's okay. That's okay. So if you are one of those people and you don't like what I share, you can't resonate with it, I totally honor and respect that. And I don't want you to believe anything I say. I don't want you to trust anything I say. It's not that you should follow what I say. It's not what I say is the truth or anything along these lines. The only thing I'll say more in regards to that, or in relation to that, is the mind doesn't know everything. Science has been wrong millions of times before, and if we outcast and shame and reject the people who disagree with what the intellect is able to grasp, that leads us into a controlling society, a controlling place where we think we know everything just because we reject what we don't understand. So that's that. Now that I've shared that, I feel a little more space and openness to share my experience, to share my journey. What do I want to share? Well, I'll start with, it wasn't my journey to discover my soul, in the sense that it wasn't a conscious decision that I knew that I was journeying on. I was raised following an Indian guru, And from the time I was 5 or 6 years old, every wish I ever made was my mantra, which was Om Namah Shivaya, which was some version of I am Shiva and everything is Shiva. So I didn't really know what it meant at the time, but it felt like it was the most important thing to me. So no wish for like a toy car or a wonderful birthday or ice cream was ever as important as wishing for Om Namah Shivaya or just saying Om Namah Shivaya. I had this very strong, seemingly, desire to know the truth, or at this point just to speak my mantra or something. And as I got older, that became an obsession with to know the truth of life, an obsession with to be enlightened. And that led me to when I was 24, losing a bunch of my thoughts. At the time, it felt like 99.9% of the thoughts that I had been aware of left my mind and never came back. That shifted my life quite a bit. Some people call this an awakening. And I lived with a much deeper sense of peace, calmness, rest, silence in my head for a really, really long time without needing to do anything to maintain it. Some people refer to this as enlightenment or awakening. I don't. Maybe I did at the time. I lost many concepts of who I was, basically every aspect of my self-image that I was aware of at the time. I thought this was kind of the end of my journey. I stopped seeking, I stopped looking, I stopped pursuing something in the future. I just kind of was becoming, in one sense, more and more nothing, more and more sort of like dissipating into my environment, so becoming more and more, feeling more and more at one with everything, while at the same time exploring and being really curious about any experience of tension and exploring the thoughts in my mind to see how they were creating any separation, disconnection, or tension in my experience. That led me to discover that all the thoughts that create tension, all the thoughts that create pain aren't true. I wrote a book about it, did a lot of counseling, helping others about that. And then I didn't have any goal, I didn't have any intention, wasn't seeking enlightenment, awakening, I don't know, none of this type of thing. I was kind of just, wanting to experience a deeper rest, deeper nothingness in a sense. And then I discovered my emotional body. If you've been around my channel, you might have heard this story. In one moment, when I was taking care of a little girl, or kind of counseling her in the play sense of the word, she told me I hate myself. And when she told me I hate myself, it triggered a deep part of me that hated myself. I didn't know this at the time. And I cried very, very deeply, and it was a very beautiful, loving cry. And from that moment on, I decided I wanted to try to feel all the painful emotions that were in my experience instead of get away from them. I didn't know it at the time, but I was meditating throughout my life to escape seemingly negative emotions, emotional pain. I was pursuing awakening, enlightenment to escape all this, to get away from it, to just feel peace and freedom. And I was disbelieving my thoughts to get away from the pain, and that's okay. But in this moment, I sort of shifted my focus to I want to feel all the pain, I want to feel all of the emotion in order to see what it really is, because the emotion of hurt I was experiencing in that moment, when the girl told me I hate myself, even though it felt painful, it also felt really deeply loving. So I wanted to explore for myself what emotions were. And that took me on a wild roller coaster where I felt just tremendous pain. This is starting in early 2014, but it kind of got gradually more and more painful. Just feeling a lot of worthlessness, a lot of hatred, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, tremendous fear in every aspect of my being, every aspect of life. And at some point it shifted from I want to experience everything to I want to heal everything that ever happened in this life. And I want to, address all of this heaviness, density, fear, and worthlessness. And as past lives opened up and ancestral connection opened up, I had this idea. I want to heal all of it, every bit of karma that I have, every bit of ancestral stuff I'm carrying. And I didn't realize it at the time, but that put a tremendous amount of pressure on me, where I was healing all day, every day for like years straight. And then it took me like a year to break free of my attachment to healing, although I still have a little pieces in there here and there, because a huge part of this, it's for me was I was healing and doing all this because I thought that would make me worthy and lovable, would make my father love me, will make me acceptable. So this like hidden defectiveness, hidden unworthiness, the same way that like unworthiness can drive you to like want to make more money or more success or more strong or more healthy, it can also drive you to heal. It can drive you to like work on your inner child wounds and your past lives and your ancestral stuff. And I never, even as past lives, I've seen hundreds and hundreds of past lives, worked through so many of them. And so when that opened up, past lives opened up about 4.5 years ago, on its own. I wasn't doing anything to try to find it. I didn't have any interest in past lives at all, and didn't really believe in it either. As these past lives started opening up and I was trying to heal them, I knew mentally in some way that I am a soul because I've seen all these past lives and I know I experienced all of them. But the fascinating part is that, so like now I am Noah, and let's say in a past life I was John or Nancy or Drew or whatever. So it was never that I was feeling myself as a soul, but actually I was feeling myself as different humans, as different bodies, different egos, different stories. And I didn't know it was possible to feel yourself as a soul. And then what do I want to say next? Yeah, so I'm feeling a little bit vulnerable now. I guess the next part I'm scared to say. In some way it was safe, I guess, just to feel these past lives and not to connect with who I really am. So I was not pursuing who I really am. I was pursuing healing, clearing myself. Like some part of me knew I wanted to like become a pure vessel. Like I wanted this body to be empty from all the garbage, from all the trauma and wounds and painful beliefs and distorted beliefs and stuff I'm carrying from my mom and dad and their ancestors, and all this painful shit I'm carrying from my horrible past lives. But in the emptying out of Noah, of myself, something opened up. And what opened up is the space between lives. And I'm beating around the bush a little bit. I'm not going directly towards it because I keep noticing I'm scared to share about it. So bear with me. In the last couple of years since past lives opened, it's also opened more and more that when something happens that I don't like in my life, in myself, something happens to me, I can, oh man, I'm scared to say this too. I got to just go for it. I can connect to my soul and feel why it's happening for me and not to me. I can also connect sometimes to pre-life arrangements where I asked another soul to do this to me so that I could get the lesson and the evolution that I wanted, to be able to embody and integrate a quality into my soul that I didn't already have. And I feel scared. I felt scared saying that. I feel really scared to share that. I'm really curious why. I'm going to go through this with you for a moment. I don't want you to see me as wise. I don't want you to see me as great. In some way, I want you to see me as normal or nothing. I'm scared to be seen as special. I'm not special, and I don't want to be seen as a guru or a teacher. And that seems in this moment, this is just what I'm seeing in this moment. This is not something I've seen before, or at least not in this way. I'm scared that when I share this, that you'll think I'm capable of something you're not. I don't want to be looked up to in any way, and that causes me to hide. It causes me to not share, like I'm withholding a lot of wisdom and sharing of my experience, because I don't want to be seen as above. I'm just feeling why I don't want to be seen that way. I don't want anyone to put me above them. I know how painful it is to be on both sides of it. I've been on both sides of following teachers in this life and in past lives, and been the teacher in this life and in past lives. It's really miserable to look to someone else for truth, for a path, it's just like, it's so disempowering to look to someone else for the way, for the answer, or to put someone else as above you. I'm noticing I'm coming back to myself, and so I don't have any special wisdom or special anything. Everything that I can see, you can see. Everything that I have access to, you have access to. And I think the most important piece in that I have to share is, I don't know better than you. No one knows better than you. So I've gotten a lot of help, beautiful help, from different healers along the way. And I've been screwed over by different teachers along the way. And it's wonderful to receive support and guidance sometimes. But it's so important, no one is better than you. No one is above you. No one is further along than you. No one knows better than you what's right for you and what is your truth and why things happen to you and what you need and what is best for you. That gives me some space to continue. I just want to say one more thing. It's also really painful to think you're better than others. I had that at some point in this life. I had that in other lives where I thought I was better than others, further evolved, like more wise. I know better than others. It's a really painful, lonely place to be. It blocks connection, love, and closeness, and so much else. It's just not nice. So I really consciously don't want to ever come from that place. That being said, so it started opening up where I can see anytime something happens in my experience that feels really not nice, I can see why it's happening, why I asked for it in some cases. But still, I didn't know myself as a soul. I didn't have experience of my soul. I know that maybe doesn't make sense, but it's one thing to have access in a moment to like a voice and a feeling of the truth of why I asked for something or why this is happening. And it's another thing to feel my soul, to like know who I am, or not even, that's even a step further, to know it's me. But in the last month, I told you I didn't plan what I was going to say. I keep finding the doorways into like the next thing. So it started a long time ago where I started to have these like seconds, like maybe even a millisecond, where I could sense something that might be my soul, but I couldn't meet it for more than like a split second. And this has happened to me with angels, with spirit guides, with trees, with love in this life, with all sorts of things, where the council of elders, life on other stars. I'm really going out there now. All you logical people are going to throw me away now. With Lemuria. Oh man, I'm going for it. I don't want to hide my experience, I guess. I guess I was hiding a certain aspect of my experience from all of you. So what happens sometimes is that when, so I hold a certain frequency. Let's say in this moment I have a certain level of density, a certain level of lightness versus density. And if I encounter an energy that is extremely light frequency, I can't handle it. If you give it to me for more than a second, my whole body might explode. I might have a heart attack. So, or I don't know, just like it feels like if you were to give me a certain light frequency for too long, my whole body would just explode. Like that's what it seems like. So obviously I block it and push it away. I literally push away the good stuff, push away the light, loving energy. And this is what we're all doing all the time, which is why light and love and beauty and ease aren't in our life. But we don't realize we're doing it. It's obviously unconscious. But for me, it's very, very conscious. So it started, let's say, a couple of years ago, give or take, where I would have these brief moments of access to something beautiful. I didn't know it was my soul. And in different moments, it was different things: Lemuria, star energy, angels, to name a few. And I could only access it for a second because it was just too powerful. I had to push it away. But what I do is that then I work on my resistance. I feel my fear to it. I feel the part in my body that's like, no, I don't deserve it. The worthlessness inside of me, the fear of losing my parents if I go towards there, the fear of losing my tribe, the fear of it activating that trigger of when I was burned for knowing it, or killed in other ways by the church for knowing the truth, for having access to who I really am. And over time, as I dealt with more and more pieces of those resistance, those fears, those densities inside of me, more and more my system has become lighter and lighter. There's less heaviness, density, trauma, wounds, past life, ancestral stuff. There's less fear of losing my parents. There's less fear of being burned. There's less fear of being ostracized by society. So therefore, I can open more and more to these light energies from different places and times in history, as well as opening more and more to the loving energy that is all around me, from my partner and from the trees, have been my biggest source of that. Like in the past couple of years, I'm often pushing away the energy of the trees. It's like when I'm out there in front of, I've often lived in jungles and rainforests, not rainforest, rice fields. Like rainforest? Not really, a little bit. So the energy of the trees is so light and beautiful and loving that oftentimes it's too much. Like, stop loving me so powerfully, stop loving me so big. I can't handle. I have to go inside, I have to close my eyes, and then I let go of the stuff inside of me so I can be an energetic match for it, so I can be open to it. Now here we go. So starting about a month ago, maybe a couple months ago, I started to take an interest in opening to my planning of this life. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I'm laughing out of fear and discomfort. Oh man, I'm really surprised how scary this is. I'm gonna take a break. Wow. I'm going a little bit blank here. This voice inside is like, they'll kill me, they'll kill me, they'll kill me, they'll kill me. It's just like, it's just on repeat. They'll kill me, they'll kill me. I'm gonna shift out of chronological order for a moment and try to bring it into the present moment and see where that takes me. So I am a soul and you are a soul. I'm also Noah and you're also Jim or Tammy or whoever you are. But I am a soul and you are a soul. And about a month ago is when I first started to allow myself to experience my soul basically as a ball of light. I'm so scared. So I've experienced myself here as light many, many times, but connecting to my soul in a different plane outside of this physical body. Connecting to it basically between lives has been the doorway for me, is to connect to who I am between lives and feel myself as this sort of ball of light. That I am a ball of light. And as this ball of light, connecting to other balls of light that each have their own beautiful, unique frequency and way of being. Most specifically connecting to my soul family, connecting to souls I knew in past lives that kept recurring, that aren't part of my family but are like close to me, connecting to spirit guides, connecting to the Council of Elders. I know that sounds like a crazy term. I'm not going to say much about it, but they're not above me, they're not above you, and it's just kind of like we're all in this together and it's all quite beautiful. And I never felt such love as from them. Took a long time to be able to let it in. I still can't let it in fully. I still can't sit in front of them for any length of time because it's still too much for me, this sort of like full non-judgment, like full acceptance. And connecting to the planning of life, connecting to myself coming into this body, connecting to myself in the womb, and how terrible it was, because coming from this open, expansive place to coming into this cage of the womb was so horrible for me. I don't know why I had to say that, but it was alive in me and I had to say that. So in this last month, I've been spending more time connecting to myself as a soul between lives. And now I'm consciously doing that every day, almost every day, for some period of time, like a few minutes here and there. And what happens for me is I connect to my soul, and then I instantly, every time practically, I notice a huge type of resistance coming up at me. One of the common ones is I can't connect to that. I don't want to. It's like, well, why? I'm scared to lose my mommy. I'm scared to lose my daddy, because it's like, if I know who I am, if I connect so deeply, for some reason I have a fear that I'll lose my mom and dad. It's not logical, it doesn't make sense, but it's connected to my childhood, that I needed them for safety. And there's this part of me that still comes from that child that thinks I need mom and dad for safety. There's also these fears that if I really know who I am, I might speak about it, like to you, and then I'll be killed. So I'm scared to know who I am because I'm scared to be killed, even though who I am can't be killed in that sense. So each time that I connect to my soul, I use it to let go of these fears so it's easier to connect to my soul. And now I'm using it for more different subjects. Like I consciously bring up a subject that maybe has a little tension to it, and then I connect to my soul and feel, how does my soul relate to this subject? And I do this all it's all about how does it feel in my own body. one of my fears for a long time, I was really sort of against all new age type of thing. I was really like wanted nothing to do with that. I never read any of that type of thing. I'm very much about my own experience, about grounded, like being Noah and being really rooted to this physical experience. And it feels like a lot of people, including myself, I was really scared to lose myself. I was scared because I had so much trauma in my body from this life, from past lives, from my ancestors, that I didn't want to be a human being. That so much of this life underneath the surface, I wasn't aware of it until these last few years, I wanted to die. I didn't want to be alive. I didn't want to be a human being. Partially because I had so much unsafety in my body. I wanted to get the hell out of here, which is partially why I was seeking enlightenment, non-duality, to disappear, because I had so much unsafety in my body. I didn't want to exist. I didn't want to acknowledge my existence. And I feel a little scared sharing that, because I don't want to make anyone feel bad about pursuing that. But for me, from my experience, the reason I did it is because I felt such a worthless piece of shit that I didn't want to acknowledge my existence. I wanted to think I don't exist, or I had so much unworthiness and unsafety in my body that I wanted to not identify with my human body, so that I didn't have to fear death. I didn't have to connect with the unsafety in my body. But this is very, very different. I am Noah. I am here, and I connect with my soul to know who I am, to feel this like love and connection and clarity and wisdom and ease and flow, while noticing the parts in my body that are not in alignment with that. So every time I connect with my soul about a particular subject, let's say I connect with money, I did earlier today, something came up about money, and then I connect with my soul and I feel how my soul relates to it. I don't just like, oh, that's the truth. What I do is I use that to help remove the false programming, conditioning, trauma, beliefs in my body that are not in alignment with what is obviously more real. Yeah, more clean, more pure. Yeah, because on the soul level, it's like it doesn't carry all that stuff, for lack of a better word. I did it. High five. I felt really I had to share this with you all. I don't know what it's going to do for you. I usually share videos that are about a very specific type of pain and how to let go of that. And that maybe it's important to share that. So I haven't been pursuing my soul up into the last month. I didn't know that I wanted to connect with my soul, live from my soul, but now I see all this work. Like, I had a passion these last years, like a freaking passion for clearing anything that came up in my system that felt anything but loving, open, and light. So anytime my system felt tense, unsafe, scared, angry, like any of it, I was like full 100% committed to working it out through myself or getting help from whoever could help me. And I didn't know where that was taking me. I just knew I had to do it. And now I see it was taking me to live from my soul. That's where it was taking me, that I wanted to live from who I am instead of living from all this pain and trauma and belief. And I love it. That sounded really, really strange. Yeah, I really love it. I really, really, really love to live from my soul. And I am not living from my soul in every moment. I mean, in some sense, we're all obviously living from our soul. Our soul is what brings the life energy and the consciousness to our physical bodies. But I am not experiencing the purity of living from my soul in every moment, because certain subjects still will trigger and activate pain and trauma. And beliefs and stuff passed down and programs passed down from the ancestors and from our society. As you can see, even on this call, like, you can feel in different moments, like maybe right now I feel super alive and energized and like smiley, but in other moments on this call I'm like super, like I'm getting more tense and more hiding or more whatever. And this is what happens in any given day, depending on what I'm doing in that day and whether it's something I've done before, something new with these people, those people, in this situation, that situation. And for me, it's about unraveling all this stuff so I can just be myself in every moment. And I would love to help you to be yourself. So I've done in the last years a tremendous amount of helping people with specific isolated issues, and now it seems that I'm feeling this pull because I'm experiencing the beauty this last month of more and more coming from my soul and living from my soul, and how amazing it is. It feels like I want to work with people who want to live from their soul, who want to live from who they are, who want to live from some version of that, rather than just help with single isolated issues. I can help with single isolated issues, but for people who really want to embody this, to embody their soul embodiment is a word that came to me in the last month that feels like it may describe my future work in this next coming phase. So if that's you, you're welcome to contact me and see what comes up. So thank you for watching. Thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for not killing me. You're welcome to abandon me and reject me. I totally welcome that. I don't want to convince you of any of this. You're welcome to think it's nonsense. You're welcome to think it's not logical. You're welcome to not understand it. You don't have to. I would never understand this without my own direct experience of it. I would never agree with it without my own direct experience of it. But you may feel resonance, like a oh or a ah or a yeah to what I'm saying, even if you don't understand it, even if you don't know it from your own experience in this life. Something might feel right or good to you about it. And you can honor that even if you don't intellectually understand it. I've talked for a while. So yeah, thanks again for listening. I hope that it served you in some way. And I'd love to hear in your comments about what's come up for you in listening to this sharing. Have a beautiful day. Bye.